career. And unfortunately, I cannot give you, provide you further information because some of her information were private and I cannot access. But I have searched one of her literary works, which was written on July 25, 2019. Or June 25, 2019. And that literary work was entitled Geriatrics, which just simply shows talks about her age and how she aged throughout.
Okay, next to Sumargo is Yuna. I'll give you your papers. I pass them to Yuna.
So Marjorie Vasco, she is an inspiring Filipino poet known for her but it means so Marjorie Vasco is an inspiring Filipino writer known for her works in both Filipino, both English and Cebuano Bisaya. She was born on September 21, 1953 in Maribojoc, Bohol. So she is known for her excellence in poem and through her literary excellence, she won a lot of awards including the SEA Writers Award or also known as Southeast Asia's Writers Award. And so although aside from her writing career, she is also a teacher, right? Holding a teaching position in De La Salle University, and there she teaches a lot of young writers and inspires all of them. And so I have chosen one of her poem, which is the Farol de Combate, or the meaning of this is Storm Blanc. This poem explores the themes of darkness, resilience, and also the community support. It is because it emphasizes the importance of helping each other and also the guiding light, which helps us navigate our life challenges. So that's all.
After this?
Yeah, you have.
After na po?
After you is okay.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. So the author or the contemporary Filipino author that I present today is Gilda Cordero Fernando. She was born in the year 1930 and died just recently in the year 2020. She is one of the most celebrated Filipino writer, publisher, a film producer, and also a social activist. During her time, she made an immense impact on the Filipino culture, specifically on the Philippine literature, as she mentored one of the best Filipino cultural workers in this era. And during her time, she has a literary career that spanned from the year 1950 until the year 1970. And two of her most notable works was first The Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker, which was first published in the year 1962. And next was A Wilderness of Sweets, which was first published in the year 1970s, or 1972 to be exact. However, following the martial law, she shifted from her real genre, which is the short fiction to non-fiction. Now, let me talk about one of her most notable work, a short story, which is not new to us actually, since we have performed this for your second year, which is The Eye of an Eagle. Yes, and this story, a short story, was part of her book, which is The Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker, which is again published in the year 1962. And this short story was first published in the year 1968. Now, this story is all about, or this story delves into the themes of religious hypocrisy, of course, the inequality or social inequality of the children on that school, and also the social inequality. So this story was actually narrated by a 4th grade student, and this story was also all about this poor or unfortunate kid, which is named Socorro, who has a patched suit and skirt, which is very unfortunate. And this story really reflects how unfair life is, especially if a student is schooling or in a private school, and most of all, naman sila sa in a religious school, which is controlled by their Madam. Yes, Madam Medina. So that's all. Next is
Actually, is that in the origin and So good afternoon, everyone. The chosen Filipino contemporary writer that I have chose is Luis H. Francia. So he is a native Filipino, and he graduated or accumulated his Bachelor of Arts in the University of Ateneo de Manila. And after he graduated, he migrated to the United States, where he pursued his career as an art writer, novelist, editor, and so forth. So Luis H. Francia is also an archaeologist. So he incorporated that essence in his writing, whereas he also plays or emphasized dark and mysterious writing. And he stated that the artifacts in this particular piece, or the most prominent literary work that I will present to you later on, is an artifact brought forth to life, where you can feel it externally from your toes upwards and eternally at last. So this masterpiece is titled Museum of Absence. So it is a collection or a book of poetry that is divided into 3 parts. The first part is this: appearances, meditate, zero ground, and meditation. So this book has the theme of brokenness, alienation, commemoration, and reflection of the daily brevity of life. So as we know, Francia is an immigrant, so he incorporated his accumulated feelings from being alienated from a particular foreign place. So he incorporated that experience and what it felt like to be pushed through to the boundaries of society with his community. And in the second part of his book of poetry, he shows that there is a life of hope. So he blended in that particular society, finding and establishing his own identity. So Andy Morley is a Filipino journalist and author, but also based in theology. He is also based in the United States. Born on April 1962, she is best known for children's and young adult fiction, which often explores themes of identity, family, and social justice. So her debut novel, Cold Story, was shortlisted for the Carnegie Medal, and her later work, Shine, won the Crystal Tide Prize for Europe. So Morley's writing is praised for its unique characters, engaging storytelling, and exploration of important social issues. So the story that I chose is the Cold Story. So Cold Story is a heartwarming tale about 2 half-siblings, Andy and Miranda, who are brought together by fate. So Andy, and a basketball-loving teenager from London, eagerly awaits the arrival of her long-lost brother from the Philippines. However, Bernardo is no ordinary teenager because he is an 8-foot-tall giant man with a mysterious temperament. As Bernardo adjusts to life in London and deals with his extraordinary life, he and Andy from Unique Band, they navigate cultural differences, family secrets, and challenges of growing up while learning to accept each other who they truly are.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce you Nicomedes Marquez, also known as Nico King. So Nico King was born in Manila in 1917. He is celebrated as one of 1850s during Spanish colonial period in the Philippines. It tells of a festival named Cartanin, celebrated by women, asking God for fertility through ritual dance around the banana tree. So the story focuses on women who challenges her husband, Paeng's traditional view on gender roles. So, this ritual empowers her and lead to the struggle of her marriage as she insists on being adored rather than controlled. So through this, Nicokin explores gender roles and societal expectations of women during Spanish colonial era. That's all. Okay, thank you. Next.
So next po, Jose is Manalas. So Francisco Sione Jose. Francisco Sione Jose is a Filipino writer was one of the qualities read in English languages. He is the national artist of the Philippines literature, entitled to him in the year 2001. And his novels and short stories depict social underpinnings and the class and struggles and politician of the Philippine society. So his written works in English has been translated to 28 languages, including Korean, the Indonesian, the Czech, the Russian, the Korean, the Ukrainian, and the Dutch. And he is one of the considered candidates for the Filipino candidate for the Nobel Prize in Literature. He was born in Rosales, Pangasinan, with most of the secrets of his stories. And his famous literary works with the Bulaga and the Orchid, which the Bulaga represents the strength and resilience, and the Orchid represents the grace and beauty, which describes the social issues of the Philippines during the 2000s. These stories teaches the young Filipinos the importance of values, the power of kindness, and the beauty of life. Yes, that's why Jose Francisco Sione Jose is one of the best contemporary writers because of his writings being translated into different languages. Yes, I think so far is one murag siya pa ang na-translatean o wala ko talaga rin yung mga languages because usually ang mga Filipino writers, it is only translated into different Filipino languages but siya today from Czech, Korea, it translates into Korea, so that's what we shall So next we have Manalas class. So good afternoon everyone. Today I have reviewing one of the most notable contemporary Filipino writers, Alfonso Manalas Paz. So Alfonso Manalas Paz is a writer, a poet, a literary critic whose work offers deep connection or reflection into the complexities of the Filipino modern identity. So his work ranges from poetry to short fiction and essays. So what Manalas Paz sets apart is his ability to express how the Filipino experience in a way that can feel both intimate and universal. So his narratives delve into themes like migration, identity, and the intersection between tradition and modernity. So from his poem entitled Measurements, Alfonso Manalas Paz explores how some things like love and poetry can be easily measured or understood by
Magdalena, her daughter, and her granddaughter, whose lives were influenced by the significant historical happenings in the past, like the Filipino-American War, the Indian War, and the World War II.
And we have the last one. Who's your science teacher, by the way?
Miss
Oh
Jan.
my God. Mona, you're the last one. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Virginia Alvarez, a Filipino poet, writer, and playwright. Born on April 24, 1928 in Davao, Manila, she studied at the University of the Philippines in the Arsanas Institute of International Education. So I choose her work, The Batik Maker, as part of collection of her poems.
Please pa daw na. Wala, kuya.